Across the state are dealing with the decision of a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling about mandatory minimum sentences. WTAJ News reporter Allie Ingersoll is live in State College with a look at how local courts may be affected. Allie?
Carolyn, mandatory minimum sentences for gun and drug-related offenses are in limbo across Pennsylvania as courts are trying to grapple with the U.S. Supreme Court decision that was ruled on last year.
There's really no concern about mandatory minimum sentencing until it happens.
Center County Judge Bradley P. Lunsford says imposing mandatory minimum sentences started out as a good idea to keep our streets safer, but it hasn't panned out as planned.
We would see someone being sentenced to a long and harsh prison sentence, they would likely forego criminal activity. The fact is that that hasn't worked.
Defense lawyer Sean McGraw argues these mandatory sentences lead to overcrowding in jails.
The operation of mandatory minimum sentences can be very cruel and very unjust under many circumstances.
Prior to the Supreme Court ruling, in Pennsylvania, a number of laws allowed judges to decide on their own if they wanted to impose the mandatory minimum sentence. Now they can't.
I think a vast majority of judges don't favor mandatory minimum sentences because it takes a great deal of discretion away from the judge to impose a sentence that addresses rehabilitative needs as well as the community needs.
McGraw says he hopes the ruling will change the way criminals are sentenced.
I believe that it is a step in the direction of much more enlightened sentencing practices that are context specific, that take into account the broader picture. It's only when you take into account multiple factors that real justice can be rendered.
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court must now decide if the state laws are in line with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling. Reporting live in State College, Allie Ingersoll, WTAJ News.
Right.